And finally, and this is really to just talk about some of the things that Andy's already mentioned. What do we see as support principles here? Why are you sitting here now? Well, when I originally joined what was Office of the Deputy Prime Minister back in the day, it was part of the e-government programme. And in those days, we created, that was, I think, £675 million worth of funding was put into the e-government programme, some of which was given to individual authorities, about half of which was given to individual authorities. But we set up a whole range of national projects to look at different elements and provide best practice and guidance. That's now flipped around. And now we're saying that the support requirement ought to be defined by the sector. Again, Andy's mentioned this term sector and sector-led support, which is very prevalent at the moment. But we're saying, let's see what authorities in a particular region want to support, and then let's have a regional improvement and efficiency partnership that puts it together appropriate structures to deliver that support at a local level. So it's not just one size fits all. And I think that approach has led to some concerns. And one of the first questions, why is there such a difference between REAPs? And why do people do things in different ways? Well, that is based on local evidence of people wanting to do things in that region in that way. I would be more concerned if we had 9 regional partnerships all doing things in exactly the same way. It should reflect local requirements. And there's a political element there. If politically people decide that that means sub-partnerships with a lot of the money going to individual authorities, that's what they decide is appropriate. Others will decide on a programme that's more centrally based. But it should be owned by the sector. And to that end, organisations such as IDA and 4Ps have been moved into the local government association family, and the funding goes there. So there is separation between policy drivers at a central government level and delivery and the delivery structures happening at a local level. And that seems right and appropriate. Because ultimately, as I say, when we deliver services, we deliver them locally to people out here, not from Whitehall saying this is what will happen in that community. So it's very consistent with the current political dimensions. But that does create a problem for us, because one thing we've struggled with over the last few years is having this good practice that we know happens at a local level, but using it to raise the bar nationally. Yeah. And what we've got to try to do with your good selves is to overcome that. Again, you'll know if authorities look to do something for the first time, their first question is who else has done it most first? Sort of a risk-averse type approach to it. And we've got to attempt to share knowledge and create structures so that what works locally can also raise the bar nationally. And that will involve you people sharing good practice between yourselves. It also involves REAPs bringing what works at a regional level to a national level so that other REAPs could say, well, actually, that's an approach that might work for us. Now, that's not to say that's at odds with this bottom-up, evidence, sector-led approach, but it would be strange for us to say all we need is for that development to come at a local level and no one ever to learn lessons. And there's no reason why an authority in the West Midlands or a partnership in the West Midlands ought not learn from good work that's done by an equivalent partnership in the North East, say. There would be no reason for that. But we've got to be careful when we're looking at things locally. I'd love to know what's going on. Yeah, so we've got to know what works best locally and make sure that experience is captured and shared nationally. And the final point there, I looked at the brief for yourselves, and it was very clear in that brief that it was an advisor's role, not necessarily a doer's role. And this last point really does underpin that. There's so much evidence that improvement is not done to organisations by consultants. And the role, I'm sure you will agree with yourselves, is to advise and to build capacity within individual organisations and partnerships, because the only sustainable way of taking this forward is by building capacity and understanding at a local level so they can self-improve once they've had the assistance up front. That's really where we're trying to get to. And again, it echoes Andy's points that REAPs won't be around forever. this support won't be around forever, so it's vital for us that we try and build capacity. So I realise that's a very, very quick run through, and you'll already have worked out that I could actually do hours on this. But what I've tried to do is give you a view of the policy and strategies from a government perspective that underpin all of this, where we've seen success worked, and I'm sure you will be aware of those principles yourselves and how we look to take things forward, and why we like this idea and that you're sitting here today. And I suppose I would end by saying, well, go out there and do it, and good luck with it. And rest assured, we will be in some way, shape or form be measuring how effective you are in raising the bar. Thank you very much. Thank you.